Well, good morning to all the Timeouters. My name is Jack Vint, and I'm just doing a little bit of a preview for you about where I'm going this morning to shoot Timeout. And this is the Modderfontein Reserve's little man-made waterfall. And you may be wondering, why am I wearing this strange top? Well, in cycling it's called the King of the Mountains jersey. And so I'm going to be speaking a little bit later on about that, and but I just thought I'll just show you where I go and what I do. Now I want to just say that I don't script time out and do anything weird. I like to think about what I'm going to share and then really just share from my heart. But one thing I really value is the fact that I would like to leave something with all those that are watching that can actually just enhance their lives, and because I do value people watching and sharing and really, so I do think about what I'm going to say, and I'm really excited this morning because I think we're going to have a great time. And so join me in a little while as I'm just on my route there, and I thought I'll just stop to show you the scenery a little bit this morning. I'll catch you soon. Well, good morning to everybody. I'm back again. As you see, it took me a while to get here, but it's a great spot. And as I said before, I really feel that I've got something great to share with you this morning, so don't go away. But before I do, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has commented and shared. I read all your comments, and I thought about you this week. And I want to say, I see that some people haven't really commented in a while, and I'm really trusting that today will be the day that you comment and share and just engage, because I really feel that this is going to help us this morning as people. It's really something that I'm going to share. This talk of mine is going to really be very, very practical, so just hang in there. But thank you very much. Now, you may know or may not know, if you've been living in our country and been looking around at what's happening in the world, that we really seem to be in the quagmire. And what that means is we really seem to be stuck in the mud. And we're either stuck in the mud or we're slinging mud. But either way, whether we're stuck in the mud or slinging mud, we're still in the mud. And I was thinking, how do we get out of that situation? We know how we got into that situation. How do we get out of that situation? How do we get to go from where we're in the valley in the mud? How do we climb up, and how do we get to a higher heights? How do we get an elevation that is different to where we are currently? What will take us there? How do we get there? And so I thought, the first thing that we have to do is we have to change our outlook. Now, you have to change your outlook and you have to change your viewpoint. Now, you may say, what's the difference between your outlook and your view? Your outlook is how you see things. Your viewpoint is what you actually see. We need to change both how we see things and what we actually see, because we need to see something exciting, something challenging again. And we won't find it in the mud. We have to climb up the mountain. And that brings me to why I'm wearing this strange polka dot jersey. Now, in cycling, this is called the polka dot jersey, and it's awarded to the mountain goats in the peloton when they ride, the ones that go over the mountains first and get the most points. In other words, those that love the mountains get the polka dot jersey, which is this jersey I'm wearing. And I'm wearing it to show you as an illustration about what I'm going to be speaking, because I want to encourage us to get out of the mud this morning and to get up the mountain, to change our outlook, to change our view, and not to be stuck in the mud and to be slinging mud. And so you must just listen carefully. So the first thing I want to ask you now, you won't get this unless you are engaged with me and you do something for yourself. You're doing what I'm asking you to do is for yourself, so that you can see something that I'm sharing with you. So will you help me this morning? Are you ready? Now, the first thing I want you to do in the comments, just to write, Jack, what we need is traction. Can you do that for me this morning? You can say, what I need is traction, it's fine. But you can also say, what we need is traction. We need traction. Right there for me, we need traction. Why? Why must you write it? Because you need to see something this morning. Why are we not really getting up the mountain and changing our outlook and changing our view? Is because we're stuck. We need traction. Our wheels are spinning and we are not going anywhere. Now, it reminds me a little bit of a story or something that I experienced many years ago. True story this is. Most of what I tell you is a true story. My brother took me to stock car racing when I was still young. And I remember I was fascinated because I saw all these adult men riding cars that are dented, and the object of their whole race was to dent each other's cars even more. It was like they were riding around in a circle going nowhere, and they were bashing each other, and it was great fun to watch as a young person, but it was really meaningless. It was almost like they bashed each other until it was the last car standing. And I feel it currently it seems that this is what we're doing in our country and the world. It's almost like we're bashing each other up so much that it's like, let's see who's the last man standing. And how do we get out of that? Now, obviously, you may say, we need a vehicle that will take us up the mountain. We need a vehicle with traction. And I'm going to show you something that can help you practically. You need traction and you need a vehicle. So this morning when I was buying coffee, I didn't plan this, but I found these two wooden sticks. Can you see them? Yeah, these are two wooden sticks, and I want to put them in the form of a cross because this is my explanation this morning. Now, can you see this cross here? This cross is made up of 4 quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the left-hand side and on the right-hand side of the cross. And for us to get traction, for us to go up the mountain, for us to change our outlook, for us to change our viewpoint, we need to cross over from this side to that side. We need to get to the other side of the cross, if I can say that. We need to get this side of the quadrant of the cross. Now, so let me tell you a story before I get into this. There was a story about a man that hung on a cross. And in this story, there were 2 thieves, the story says, that were hanging each side of this man that was hanging on the cross. On each side of the quadrant, there was another cross and another man on a cross. And the man I'm speaking about, obviously, maybe you know or don't know, was Jesus Christ, the Son of God. And he hung on the cross for me. He didn't deserve it, but he did it because he loved me. And each side of him, the story says there was a thief. Now, in the story, and I'm paraphrasing it, the one thief turned to Jesus on the cross and said, "If you, the Son of God, if you're so great, why are we all here? Why haven't you made a plan to get us out of this mess?" And while he was sharing this, the other thief rebuked him and said, "Don't speak like that, because this man is innocent. We are guilty of what we're doing and we should be here, but he's not guilty of it." And because he said that one thing, because he spoke that one word, an interesting thing happened. He crossed over from the one side of the cross to the other. And Jesus turned to him and he said something incredible. He said, "Because of your confession, what you're saying today, you will one day be with me in paradise." Wow. Imagine if what we say today, what I say today and what you say today can make us cross over from this side of the cross to that side. Imagine if one thing we say can help us get traction, can help us move up the mountain, can help us change our outlook, can help us change our view. Wow. Just think about it. Now, as you view this quadrant, this cross, there are 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to just visualize, and I want you to write something here for me soon, just to show you something. But just to see, on this cross there are 4 quadrants, 2 sides, this side and that side, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on this side, I want you to write a plus sign. At the bottom here, a plus sign, and at the top here, a multiplication sign. So we've got a plus sign at the bottom and a multiplication sign on the top. Are you ready? And at the top here, diagonally across from the plus sign here is a minus sign, a negative, a minus sign. And at the bottom here, diagonally across from the multiplication is a division sign. Now we've got all 4. We've got a plus, a multiplication, a subtraction, and a division. Notice that the plus and the multiplication are on this side, in this quadrant of the cross, and the subtraction and the division is this side of the cross. I'm saying that for a very specific reason. So let's do an exercise for you. Do this with me quickly. Think about something that you don't like about South Africa. Think about it quickly. Something that you don't like about South Africa, a negative. This is a negative. Jack, I don't like the climate. I don't like people. I don't like the food, whatever. I mean, to think of something, be honest. What is it that the one thing that you would like to change? Put it in this quadrant here where it says negative, where there's a negative. What negative have you got in this quadrant? Are you ready? Have you done that? Okay, when you've done that, I want you to think of a positive. What positive thing can you think about South Africa that you want to share? And I want you to write it, the positive, at the bottom on the other side of the cross of this quadrant. I want you to say, I like the climate. I like what. Just think of one thing and write it down here. So you've got a negative here and you've got a positive here. Are you ready? Have you done that exercise? And you're doing that, of course, in the comments. Comment, what I don't like negatively is this. What I do like positively is this. I want you to see something. So now here we have this side of the cross and that side of the cross. How do we move over from this side, which is, every time I am negative about something, what subtraction is? It's taking away something. Every time I'm negative, Jack, I am taking something away. And I'm just moving my camera a little bit because the sun is changing. It came up a little bit earlier than I thought. Now, every time that I'm negative, I'm taking something away. Every time I am positive about something in my life, in the country, I am adding value. Can you see that? So every time I use my plus on this side, I am adding value. I'm saying to myself, I am now starting to get traction. Every time, now let's look at that. Every time you're negative, the more you become negative, the more you start to move down the scale of the quadrant. And when you move down the scale, you know what you find this side of the quadrant is division. Eventually, negativity leads to division. And you know what division does? Division just accelerates negativity and it starts to make us break down our situations and people. Now, on the other side of the cross, when I start to become positively charged and I start saying to myself, there are many positives, I start moving up. So negativity always causes me, or subtraction always causes me to go down into division. But positivity causes me to go up. And eventually I get to multiplication. Now I'm not just adding value, I'm adding a lot of value, because multiplication is not just addition, it's addition with a turbo. That's what we need. It's almost like that four-wheel drive that we need to get out of the mud. We had radial tires and we had a two-wheel drive. And when we start becoming positive and we get traction, it's almost like we trade in those radial tires for off-road tires and all-terrain tires, and we trade in that two-wheel drive for a four-wheel drive, and we start moving up the mountain. And we start changing our outlook about things, and we start changing our view, and we start seeing the bigger picture, and we start realizing that we've been in the mud for so long, but we need to get to the top of the mountain to see what view there is. Now, the moment we move away from subtraction and division in life and we cross over to this side and we start exercising positivity and we climb up into multiplication, something supernatural will happen in our situation, and not just in our situation, but in our country. I want to encourage you this morning to get some traction. Don't allow yourself to spend too much time in negativity and division. There's many of that going around. Cross over to positivity and multiplication. And if we each one do that, if we each one teach one, we can reach one and we can make a difference. I want to say to you this morning, because when we get traction and we start moving up, our outlook in life, in our family, in our business, in our relationships is going to change. And when our outlook changes, our view is going to become fantastic. We're going to see the bigger picture. We're going to breathe the cleaner air, and we're going to know that we've crossed over. You've been watching Timeout. My name is Jack Vint. God bless you.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song.